Welcome in, everybody. It's week 3 of college football, episode 6 of Classic City Locks, and we have had an exciting, chaotic college football season so far. We're looking forward to another exciting week. There's not great matchups this week, but we thought that last week. And what happened, Mike? Give us the recap, and then we'll jump into our trivia question.
Well, last week ended up being a very good set of games. We thought that it was going to be a snooze fest, and we could have some Cinderella stories developing. Just a couple things to hit on. Biggest one of the week: Notre Dame goes down to NIU, pays them like $1.4 million to lose 16-14 in South Bend.
If you don't have a football watching friend or a knowledgeable friend, go out and just ask them, who do you think NIU is, and see
Yeah.
if they can guess Northern Illinois University.
So Notre Dame, insane loss. Penn State and Oregon both survived close ones. Bowling Green leading going into halftime for most of that game. And Oregon, I think Boise State, watch out for them. You could see them get into the playoffs as the group of 5 team. What's their running back's name? That he's going to be in New York for the Heisman.
He had like 6 touchdowns against
Yeah,
Georgia Southern the week before. It was insane.
nuts. Both those teams survived, but chaos has crept into the top 25. We see these teams are not.
You
Uh,
had Oklahoma State as well,
yeah,
almost
Oklahoma
losing to
State
Arkansas.
with the bad beat of the week and pick 'em. We'll talk about that later. Just as the epitome of a backdoor cover. My disdain for Arkansas grows by the day. Um, and the other big storyline of last week, Texas goes into the big house and drags Michigan, just like yours truly said would happen. Um, they look legit. They are a title contender in Michigan. Good night. They lost a lot of pieces from that championship squad.
Yeah, it was a really good week. I mean, we're hoping for it to be a similar one tomorrow. Recording this a bit early, obviously. We got some good matchups for it. We'll debrief on those. But first, the trivia question. I am 0 and 1 on the season in trivia, and Mike is 0 and 0 in trivia on the season. Soon to be 0 and 1, unless he saw this stat. I have a question for you, Mike.
All right.
What Power Five team has lost their last 10 road games and is seeking to change that script this weekend? They have not won a road game since the year 2021, and this is a respectable Power Four, excuse me,
Okay.
program. They have been ranked this season.
They have been,
Yes.
but are no longer. Did you just give it away?
I didn't say they had no longer. I'm just saying they have been
It's
ranked.
not Florida State.
It is not Florida State. I'll give you
Oh,
3 guesses. That's your first guess.
okay. They were ranked. They were ranked. Let me think about this. Oh gosh, you're putting me on the spot here. Power four.
Yep.
Eliminate one of the conferences for me.
It's not the Big 12. It's not the Big 10.
Okay, so it's an SEC or ACC team. Let me say not win on the road. Is it Georgia Tech?
No, nope. Last guess. I'll give you a hint. It's one of our teams that we picked this season.
What? Is it Texas A&M?
It is the Texas A&M
Oh my
Aggies. Have
God.
not won on the road since 2021. They've lost
That
their
is
last 10
insane.
straight, and they go into the swamp this weekend.
Wow, that is crazy.
They,
I
they
that's
They're tied for like the second or the first worst away win percentage since of like any team, not just Power
good
Four, in
night.
like the last 5 years. It's crazy.
That is ridiculous. Well, I guess that I get. Well, we're gonna have to put an asterisk on that. I'm 1-0, but I definitely got a little bit of a handicap there. But
Yeah.
speaking of A&M, how about we jump into our team recap real quick? You want to kick us off, Oz?
Yeah. So we had a good week last week. All 8 of our teams, 4 of mine, 4 of Mike's, they pulled out the win, beating such notable teams such as McNeese, South Dakota, Buffalo. Not a single Power Four victory in yeah, no, not a single one.
Not one.
But we all came away with wins. 2 of Mike's teams, Missouri and Arizona, are ranked. How did Mike get to pick Missouri? They're ranked 6th in the country right now. Seems a bit unfair if you ask me. But we moved on. We move on. My teams are a combined 5-3, while Mike's teams are sitting at a pretty 8-0. So we'll see who has the last laugh at the end of the
Yeah.
season.
My Missouri Tigers have not given up a point this season. They have not given up anything. Two shutout wins. So let's see if that continues on. But in terms of pick'em, things are not looking as good for me. I had my worst week in pick'em in the past 3 years. A
Just like
dismal
Texas
7.
A&M.
Yeah, yeah. 7-16. West barely squeaking over 50%, but still getting there. 12-11. And that brings West to a total of 54% correct hit rate on the season. Me with a dismal 43, but we're only going up from here.
Yeah,
Um,
it's small sample size, You're only
yeah.
like 6 games away probably. So this
So,
week you sweep the table, win a insane parlay, and you're back in business.
um, in other news with Pick'em, there's been 2 weeks, and Wes and I may have to transfer ownership of the show over to our girlfriends as they have both won week one and two.
Out of 18 people,
So,
you can't believe this. We actually do talk to girls sometimes. Mike's girlfriend won week one, and my girlfriend won week two. First out of 18 people, back to
crazy.
back. Whereas Mike and I are finishing last and in the middle of the pack. So we're just gonna hang it up. And next week, if this result repeats itself, we're just gonna let them take over Classic City, transfer the title, the name, everything. And the shirts, it's theirs now. So nothing else you can say.
A lot of work for us to do here. But let's look forward, Wes. That's the only way to move. We can't look in the past anymore. Week three, like we said, not a crazy good slate, but based on last week, you never know what could happen. One game that we suggest y'all take a look at: Boston College going to play Missouri on the road. My Missouri Tigers, I have full confidence in them. I think West does as well.
I do.
What are they sitting at, around a 14 and a half point favorite at home?
They are, yeah. And this is one of the games that I have personally spent money on. So not illegally, but maybe a little handshake backyard deal kind of thing. So that this one, Missouri to cover 14 and a half, I feel very strongly about. Bill O'Brien, they've got a good squad over at Boston College, or do they? They beat Florida State and put themselves on the map. And, I think people are just kind of overreacting to this one. I think Missouri is just squashed. Like Mike said, they haven't given up a point yet. They haven't played great teams, but I like them here to cover this a lot.
But like, yeah, Brady Cook is a great quarterback, and I feel like Missouri has been on the cusp of greatness. They have continued to trend upwards. That we haven't seen any setbacks from them
Yeah.
since we started to realize they're good. Um, yeah, I see. If you have to ask yourself, if you saw this line at 21, would you freak out? Like you'd consider it. So
Yeah.
we're getting it at 14 and a half. I feel like at home, this is great, about as good as you're going to get out of anything this week.
I agree. And I mean, moving on to some of the other the other games in the slate, I think this is the epitome of college football, a true fan weekend, I will say. There's not great top 25 matchups. There's not that, just locked away game day matchup. Game day is going to LSU, South Carolina. But there are some great conference matchups and a
Yeah,
little bit interconference play that those of us that live and breathe this sport are like dying to see. Texas A&M at Florida, LSU, South Carolina. Like those are good conference games.
yes.
You got Alabama and Wisconsin. I don't think it'll be a good game, but I'm still waiting to watch it. Georgia, Kentucky. It's I feel like this week we have a lot of good conference play. And yes, we are SEC homers here, so those are the only games that I know about this week.
Yeah,
Arizona and Kansas State play each other tonight, and it is not a conference game, despite them being in the same conference.
so weird. We are in such a weird spot. But yeah, you're right. There are some good games. And even I mean, it's not a conference matchup, but Oregon State anymore. Not a
Yeah,
conference matchup anymore,
yeah,
but Oregon State play this week. Like there's some good games out there. You just gotta
it's
dig
the
through a little
Apple
bit. So
Bowl.
we're here to help you do that. In terms of games that look promising, Missouri, Boston College is what we would stick with. But there's some good games on this week.
I just got to say, Josh Pate, my guy, I'm riding him this week, and he's got the over in the Florida State Marshall game, so that will be exciting. 5.5 point spread on that one. Who would have thunk it? Uh,
Crazy.
and then he likes Michigan too. He likes Michigan to cover against Arkansas State. Talk about the former champion being favored against an FCS team like Arkansas State. Butch Jones is Arkansas State, I will say. being favored by only 24 points at home. That's
Crazy.
ridiculous. Georgia goes to Kentucky and is favored by the same margin as Michigan against an FCS opponent at home. So
Well, we did just watch Kentucky get absolutely embarrassed at home by South Carolina, but
it's fair.
still,
It's valid.
who would have thunk it? That's right. That's what this season is right now. Who would have thunk it?
It's the
Crazy
who would
stuff.
have thunk it season trademarked.
But that's going to do it for us this week. Let us know in the comments below if y'all think that there are some any other hidden matchups that we're missing this week. Be our first comment of the season. You guys are doing a atrocious job of engaging with us. Make fun of us, agree with us. We don't care. Show us some
Yeah.
love.
I heard Mike has never washed this shirt.
I'm not
So
going till we get a comment this season. Okay, my
there you
roommates are starting to
go.
complain.
So if you want us to smell bad, then just stay away from the comment section.
But that's going to do it for us, y'all. Like we said, let us know what you think about it. And we are looking forward to another great week of college football.